The Life of Death by Nightmare Darkness. Read by Deathlight. Chapter 9. Keeping a Promise. "You have strolled into something dire," he said, removing a straw hat. I outwardly sighed as I found my seat behind the desk, where I was not too long ago. He took a seat across from me where I sat, where it seemed so long ago. "Did this ever happen to you?" I asked, sipping my tea, and a warm feeling came over me. Not that I could recall, but this move by Vedra. He must have been waiting for my new replacement. The clock can only do so much. "You seem to be doing fine, till his tampering," he said, sitting down. "Just what am I supposed to do now? War is coming, souls are missing. Weapons have been made, and soon there's gonna be a lot of souls up for grabs. Those souls will power the weapons, and if that happens, I don't know if I can take him," I said, unsure. He smiled and chuckled. "That's the reason we leave our numbers, just in case something like this happens," he said, cracking his neck. "Okay, it seems we're out of options. Discord's gone to Tel Celestia, and Fire's gone back to Hades," he said, thinking. I placed my cup down and looked at my cloud computer. "As it stands, I have no choice but to wait for his next move," I said with a concern. He nodded and stood up. "Oh, I'll call him some favors and see if I can get the ball rolling," he said, smiling. Making his way to the mirror, I stood up and walked after him. "Thanks for this," I smiled. "Not a problem. It seems you have your plate fuller than usual, but the dead never stop," he said, finally leaving through the mirror. I lifted up my scroll and a long list of names began appearing. Then a comment came to my mind that I promised Angel Wings. I walked out to see Apple Scroll, busy as ever. "Thank you for the tea. It really helped," I said, to which she looked up and smiled warmly. "We all need a calming moment," she said. "I'm going out. I have to make a stop by Big Mac and his daughter," I explained, going to the door, but I paused as Apple looked slightly saddened. "No doubt Angel asked you to watch over him?" she asked. I nodded. "Angel is new to the heavens, but has a truly pure heart. She is one of the few that ascended from an earthly soul. Big Mac was her husband before she died. Her daughter was only possibly because a friend was a surrogate mother for her baby. She died before she could see the baby." Apple explained as I digested the information. "Thanks for telling me," I said as I flipped up my hood and slipped my key into the lock, and walked through the door where my senses were assaulted by wood smoke, hay, and apples. I closed the door behind me and heard lively laughter and conversation as I rounded the corner to the scene of happiness. As I looked at the group, all their names and pasts flashed before my eyes. Applejack sat beside Granny Smith, who was in her rocking chair. Pinkie Pie was playing with a beautiful filly that had likeness to Angel's Wings, to be sure. Rainbow Dash was the closest to me by leaning on a door frame, and Twilight was flanked by both Rarity and Fluttershy. Big Mac smiled warmly, but I could sense a feeling of sorrow about him, no doubt because of Angel's death. Apple walked into the room, passing through me with Mel in her mouth, and she gave an involuntary shiver. "Big Mac, got a letter for you," she said as she gave it to him and hoofed over the rest to Applejack. Everything seemed fine, as far as I could tell, and so I turned to leave when Big Mac stood up slowly. "No," he said, his voice betraying nothing but anguish. All of them looked at him. "I've been drafted to fight," he said. The mood instantly changed. I looked across the room, and my eyes fell on Pinkie, who had locked her eyes onto me, and she stared at me, her bouncy rebellious hair deflated. I looked at Pinkie, slightly surprised, as she seemed to see me. As Twilight moved to Big Macintosh's side and took the letter and read it. "If I write Princess Celestia, I can get back to—" she began, but Big Macintosh placed his hoof on the letter, shaking his head. Granny Smith had stopped rocking and sat there reserved. "This is horrible," Fluttershy said. First, Twilight became panicked and angry. "I didn't be a surrogate mother for you and Angel to lose you both," she exclaimed. I felt my robe gently converse me to leave. I had a job to do after all. Pinkie never took her eyes off me until I was at the door with my key, turning it, and walking through it and away from the sad scene.